Hi and welcome back. Today's topic is exploratory data analysis and descriptive analytics. Now, another set of jargon. Before you run away screaming, remember this is as scary as kitten playing with a ball of yarn, right? Or a pie chart, which we saw in the last set of videos. Exploratory data analysis, or EDA, as we all call it, is just our detective work in the data of world. So we are like Sherlock Holmes trying to solve not the thriller murder mysteries, but we are uncovering hidden patterns and insights from our data, right? It is less dangerous, yet equally intriguing. The mystery is not solved fully until some exploratory hypotheses are built, and then each of those hypotheses are either rejected or otherwise based on detailed evidence gathering, right? So EDA is all about what to look at for building these hypotheses, where to look for evidence, which are the variables in my data, right? EDA is about summarizing the main characteristics of data, often visually, right? So EDA ends up giving us main highlights of data. So if you had sales data, what's the average sales per week? What's the seasonal variation in the sales? What is the sales pattern during weekdays and weekends? Which products contribute to 80% of your sales? What is the highest selling product in the last quarter that you had? So on and so forth. These kind of questions could be easily answered using EDA. EDA is usually the first step for any analytics project where we get the sense of data firsthand, right? It's also the first step in doing any predictive modeling work as well, right? So that's the main aspects of doing EDA, main purpose of doing EDA, right? Another term more frequently used is what is called descriptive analytics, right? So descriptive analytics is about involving statistical and visualization techniques to describe data, right? So when we say describe something, let's take an example, describe an elephant, right? How would it be described? Do you describe it just by size, height and weight? Or is it the shape of its trunk or shape of teeth, right? All these descriptions would still be incomplete to describe an elephant very fully. Yet it is a starting point, right? So we begin thinking of data as combinations of different features or different variables. And descriptive analytics typically involves describing these features well, right? How do we describe them, right? And what do we describe them for, right? So descriptive analytics is typically about recounting what has happened in the past. That's painting the picture of what has happened in the past with your data. So it's very interesting to see your sales peaking up in Christmas period. Has it really happened, right? Or did your customers really fall in love with your product line, right? So descriptive analytics can help you address these questions, which is about looking at the past data and trying to answer these questions about what has happened descriptively, right? We did look at describing data in the form of variables, and there is data that is numeric or that is quantitative, and we say we can describe data using mean, median, mode and standard deviation, right? Now another set of jargon, don't worry, these concepts are not as mean as they sound, right? You are definitely in a good shape to handle them, right? So let's talk about mean, mode and median, right? What they mean intuitively, right? So the mean is like that friend who wants to summarize the whole party with one statement, while the median is the sensible one who doesn't let the outliers ruin the data party, right? So we'll learn more about these measures subsequently. We'll also calculate these with an example, but it's going to be quite a fun working with data and coming up with ways to describe data, right? Also equally important here are ideas from statistics, which are called samples, sampling theory, and confidence intervals. So that's something that we are going to talk about in the next session. What is samples and what is sampling, right? So suppose you've been asked, report to me the height of a kid which is going to school in, let's say, 5th standard. Now, if this is what is asked to you, you're not going to survey all the schools in your locality or in your country. You are going to take samples of kids who go to school and who are in the 5th grade, right? So you will take only a subset of individuals, although you will infer about all the kids who go to school and are in the 5th grade, right? So this is about using samples to infer about population. So population is all children who are in the 5th grade. And we are interested in measuring their height, right? But we can't probably measure for all the kids who are there in the country or in your region. So you could only do it for subset of people, and that's what is called a sample, right? But then you do not want to choose the kids in your study such that they are only white kids or they are only black kids. You would want a mix of all the children who go to school in your geography or in your country, right? So that is what is called as creating a sample which is unbiased or which is representative, right? So this is an idea we are going to explore in the next session. Looking forward to see you there. Thanks.